Hello and welcome to In Between the Leagues, where I play games that aren't Path of Exile in between league releases, because if I only play Path of Exile, I'll probably burn out, go insane, or all of the above. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the series. Last week, I finally decided to try out Celeste, the critically acclaimed platformer that people would not shut up about a year ago when the game came out. Spoiler alert, it's pretty good. First off, let me just talk about the controls. I've played my fair share of nostalgia exploiting and subpar Metroidvania platformers, and aside from trying way too hard to be unique or have cutesy sprites, my common complaint tends to be that they rarely feel all that great to play. Similar games like Owlboy and Tuhu Luna Nights are probably great games in their own right, but because I didn't find their controls immediately satisfying or at least intuitive, I never gave them the chance to grow on me. Celeste, on the other hand, feels fantastic. You only have to worry about moving, jumping, and dashing. You aren't constantly getting power-ups that force you to change your playstyle, and each of the game's 8 levels only introduces 1 or 2 new environmental mechanics for you to learn. You may be thinking this sounds boring, but trust me, it's anything but. Think of the original Super Mario Bros. For the NES. All you had to do was walk, run, and jump, and sometimes the game would spice things up by throwing a Fire Flower or Superstar your way. Yet, even 30 plus years later, the gameplay still holds up because it feels fun and responsive. The other benefit of having such a solid but simple gameplay system is it allows the developer to focus on literally anything else. In the case of Celeste, this ended up being more like everything else. For starters, the level design is amazing. I'm not talking Souls-like interconnected environments amazing, but it does have some of the most masterfully crafted jumping puzzles I've ever experienced. In hindsight, some of these challenges must have been pretty intense, considering I racked up over 1,700 deaths while completing the game, but the difficulty curve felt so gradual and fair that I barely noticed. Another aspect of the game that clearly got a lot of love was its narrative and storytelling style. I generally despise games that try way too hard to get you to care about their stories, especially when it's told via unskippable cutscenes filled with awkward dialogue and bad voice acting, but Celeste takes a different approach. Rather than creating a blank slate of a protagonist and a large cast of forgettable characters, the game focuses in tightly on just a few memorable personalities. Madeline, the soul-searching player character, Theo, the friendly adventurer, Mr. Oshiro, the spooky hotel manager, and the mountain-dwelling old woman. Just the fact that I can remember all of these characters and their quirks speaks volumes about the game's storytelling. The writing is just really good. I don't know how else to put it. The last part of Celeste I want to rave about is its art and music direction. Like I mentioned earlier, I tend to roll my eyes heavily at 2D pixel platformers that go way overboard with their visuals. That's not to say games like Owlboy aren't drop-dead gorgeous to look at, it just feels like the devs spent more effort creating assets than actually designing a fun game. In contrast, Celeste manages to strike a perfect balance. The environments are beautiful and the music for each level is distinct and catchy, but nothing feels over the top. Celeste's eye candy is always relevant to the story and themes, and it never slows the pace of the game or circle jerks itself at the expense of the player's experience. Honestly, I could go on and on about why I love this game, but that wouldn't make for a very interesting review. There are indeed a couple of reasons why you might not enjoy Celeste as much as I did. I hinted at this earlier, but let me reiterate. Celeste is not an easy game. If you don't like failing, being forced to get good, and attempting the same challenges over and over, this might not be the game for you. Plus, if you weren't raised on Mario like myself, you might find some of the levels even harder than I did. Don't get me wrong, the game is fair and you will definitely be able to beat it with enough practice, but don't expect it to just fall over. The second potential issue I see people having with this game is its length. I personally operate under the $1 per hour rule when judging a game's value, and Celeste took me just over 10 hours to finish, which is less than ideal considering its $20 price tag. However, it's important to note that this is the worst possible scenario for the game. If you catch it on sale and decide to play even a couple of the ridiculously hard bonus levels, you'll be cutting the price in half and doubling, if not tripling, your game time. In summary, Celeste is a top-tier precision platformer with a lot to love. It has tight gameplay, a compelling narrative, and superb art direction. Its only potential shortcomings are its high difficulty and lack of bang for your buck, but these complaints will likely be completely overlooked by most gamers. I give Celeste 5 strawberry pies out of 5, and my absolute recommendation as a game you should play in between the leagues. This has been Nathan, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you!
Hey guys, I just wanted to thank you so much for supporting me on Patreon these days, especially sort of in this weird in between the league time, because there's not a lot of Pee Wee content really to be had compared to league starts, but that doesn't mean I don't have to pay bills. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. More specifically, I want to thank Real Human, Zikarak, Squally, Zoljan, Coda, Julia Allen, Kepler, Sparky, Kata, Fusk, Putzak, Heiser 801, Olivier, Ice Dude, Ginzink, Anonymous, and Orangina. Really appreciate it. Means more than you know. And if anyone else is interested in joining the Patreon team, you can check me out at patreon.com/NathanBrotherBob. I'm also on Instagram at NathanWalkerYT, and I have a little Discord URL there if you want to check it out. Come hang out, play some PoE, talk to me or whatever. You can go click that in the description. Anyway, thanks again, and I'll see you guys soon.